Hey guys, George at SoundTraxx here. This week we're going to talk a little bit about our Econami products, what they are, what they can do for you, and that they're still available. So let's get started. Now guys, in our SoundTraxx family of products, we have a product line we call Econami. Now, the word Econami is actually a play on the word economy and the word tsunami. So you put them together, you get Econami. I've heard a lot of people call them economies, whatever, as long as you're buying them, we don't care. But the point is that, we call them Econami because they're an economy tsunami. Now, the biggest, most important thing I want to make sure everybody understands is that the Econami product lines are not discontinued. Now, over in the past, we've had a wider range of different board formats in the Econami product line. Now, some of those we did have to discontinue due to some of the parts that we were getting were coming in very limited supply. So, for example, 1 month we might get, and I'm making up numbers here, we might get 50 processors, but we may take back orders for 250. That's not a sustainable model to be able to keep a product line. And so that's part of the reason why we discontinued some of the board formats. But again, not all board formats are discontinued. Now, what's currently available is, of course, we have our Eco P&P. Now, this is a 2-watt, 2-amp decoder with 6 lighting outputs, and it comes in this nice board format drop-in replacement for diesel locomotives. Now, we also have our Eco 21P NEM. Now, this is a 21-pin decoder. It has 6 lighting functions and, of course, utilizes the 21-pin plug that you see in many models today. Now, when it comes to the Econami, one of the biggest things to point out is there's a lot of similarities between the Econami product line and our Tsunami 2, but, of course, the Econami doesn't have, pun intended, all of the bells and whistles that the Tsunami 2 has. So, for example, the sound files on our Econami product lines are a little bit more limited. So where with the Tsunami 2 Steam decoder, for example, you get 90 whistles to choose from, on our Econami Steam version, you only get 16. And you also get 16 air horns on the diesel locomotive to choose as well. Now, some of the other sounds, such as the exhaust chuffs and things like that, are very limited. You're not going to get the same library that you're going to get out of the Tsunami 2. So, for example, if you're using an EMD, let's say an EMD 567 out of an F unit, or say a medium steam chuff that you're looking for out of your Econami decoder, the Econami can handle both of those situations. But if you're looking for one of those more obscure ones, for example, the big boy, or if you're looking at, say, a Fairbanks Morse, you're going to need to upgrade to the Tsunami 2, where you have the full access of library of sounds. Now, some of the other things that you're going to have is limited features. Now, in the Tsunami 2, as we've talked about in many of the videos, you can see them linked in the description below or behind me. But what we've done is we've talked about how on the locomotive you have the independent brake in addition to the optional use of an automatic or a train brake, and the sounds change based on which brake system you're using. Well, in the Econami, there's only the one type of braking, and it's basically representing the independent brake. So when you turn on your F11, you're going to get the brake squeal. Your brake rate is set in CV117. CV118, there's no braking, there's no options, and so anytime that decoder gets an F11 command, it will play the squeal, and then you can bring your locomotive to a stop. So if you're consisting with a Tsunami 2, you just want to be cognizant that the Econami is going to use the same braking rate no matter which braking rate you're using in the Tsunami 2. So if you run them together, you want to make sure the Tsunami 2 braking rates match that of the Econami's independent brakes. Now, one of the other limited features, and there's a few more of this, but one of the other limiting features is the dynamic digital exhaust. Well, as we've talked about, dynamic digital exhaust changes the sounds of the exhaust based on what the locomotive is doing. So if you have a heavier train, or if you're going up a grade or something like that, the exhaust is going to sound like it's working harder. In the case of a diesel, you're going to hear the diesel engine notch up. In the case of a steam, you're going to hear the tone and intensity change as your locomotive encounters that grade. Now, in the Econami, The diesel exhaust, the diesel dynamic exhaust, is actually non-existent. In our steam decoder, it is there, but it is a throttle-based change only. So if you have some momentum and you accelerate your locomotive, as your locomotive is accelerating, in our Econami, the dynamic digital exhaust will make that sound a little bit more intense as it's working out. So there are some limitations. They do use the same CV roster so that if a feature is in the Econami and the Tsunami 2, they work the same. They use the same CV, so you don't have to relearn a whole new chart. But in many cases, you'll find that the Tsunami 2 has a few more features. Now, some of the cool things is about the Econami is they do use the same sound quality, so you don't have to sacrifice sound quality. And it also uses the same motor settings. So your Hyperdrive 2 is actually going to be in the Econami as well as it is in the Tsunami 2. So that way you don't have to worry about the two locomotives having different motor control characteristics. Now, one of the big things that comes up with our Econami as far as the board formats are concerned, well, steam, there's a lot of locomotives out there that use a steam decoder that may not have a 21 pin. So how do I do that? Well, first off, we make a 21 pin adapter, part number 810159, and you can see it here in this picture. Now that decoder plugs right in, and then you can take any one of our harnesses, whether it's a regular wire harness that's non-terminated that you can hardwire in, or you can take an adapter harness that has the 8-pin plug and plug it into the end of the adapter, and then that way you can make the 21 pin decoder a little bit more universal. So the good news is as a steam model, you're not left in the dark. You do have an option, and we've done a video on that before in the past, so you'll see that linked in the description below. Now, one of the best advantages is that the Econami is an economy decoder. So you can save a couple of bucks here and there on maybe some B units that you have in your models, or maybe models that you don't use on a regular basis, but you do want sound, because as we all know, sound is addicting. So these decoders, retail price is $84.95, so you can buy them at many times a discount at your local retailer. So we do encourage you to check that out and make sure that your local retailers carry them or can order them for you. Now, the best part about it is these decoders are available today. They're in stock and ready to ship, so if your local retailer doesn't have it, you can order it through your retailer or check out our website and order it direct from SoundTraxx.com. Now guys, that's everything I've got for you this week. If you liked this video, be sure to click the like button down below and be sure to subscribe to our videos so that next time when we upload content like this and other informational videos that you're going to get notified when we drop new videos. So guys, that's everything I've got this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.